Hi everyone, I'm Natalia. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to do a hashtag. If you'll indulge me, those of you who know me know that I love doing hashtags and engaging everybody in hashtag. So today's hashtag is esoteric decks. This could be tarot or oracle decks that are esoteric to you. So let me explain. Esoteric, and let me read a dictionary definition because I want to clarify that I'm using esoteric in a little bit different way because I believe in reality any deck is esoteric, any deck is magical. Esoteric definition is intended for or likely to be understood by only a small number of people with specialized knowledge or interest, right? Usually esoteric decks, the classic one would be Zostack, right? Where you needed to have an understanding of symbols and archetypes embedded in it. You needed to understand the planetary aspects and the astrological aspects in order to be able to read with it. Not anybody can just pick up Zostack and read it in a sense of understanding its esoteric symbolism, right? Now, I know that everybody can read anything intuitively. That is going without saying. And I'm not talking here about intuitive readings or being able to do intuitive readings. So when I'm using esoteric in regards to the decks I selected some tarot decks and I selected some oracle decks to share with you today. I use the term esoteric, meaning that when I look at the deck, it's sure I can use intuition, but chances are, if I read what the creator wrote about a particular card, it will be something else. In other words, the symbols or there's particular story embedded in a card that is not so easy to deduce just by looking at it. An example of a deck that I don't think is esoteric for me is, for example, Muse Tarot, right? It's not esoteric for me because a lot of symbols and imagery that Chris Ann picked to depict things make sense to me. I agree with a lot of symbolisms that she chosen. A lot of the symbols mean exact same thing to me. I read this deck without any guidebook. I don't need to read her description in a guidebook. If I do, it oftentimes what I kind of deduced already from the deck. So this is for me an example of not esoteric tarot deck. Is the one where you can just kind of get it. The creator used symbols in the same way you understand them. There's no mystery behind it. Here's another one. I love this deck. This is the only I think this is the only carbon copy of like Rider-Waite Smith. It's so funky. It's a storyteller. It uses classic Rider-Waite Smith imagery, and it's funky. It's fun. I love the characters in it. I mean, look at this guy hoarding all of his knives. But you don't need. In fact, this deck doesn't come with guidebook because you don't need it. It uses exact same symbolism we're all familiar with. You will not look at this deck and you will not say, what the heck, right? You're not going to look at this deck and you're not going to say, I don't get this. You're going to get this. So these are examples of what I consider not esoteric decks, to give you an idea. So today for the hashtag esoteric decks, and I'd love to see if any of you want to engage in this. I'd love to see what you consider as esoteric decks. I'll share with you mine. Sorry, I'm like rambling. I just finished work day and my head is exhausted and I needed a little bit of a different distractions into my passions, and I haven't worked with tarot in this capacity for a while, so I'm excited. Obviously, this is esoteric deck, but this is not included in my esoteric decks collection because I know this deck too well. I can read it too well. It is no longer esoteric to me. I'm sure it has a lot of esoteric symbolism I have yet to discover. But in the meantime, I don't consider it esoteric because I can read it really, really well. Deck number 1. Mary Altair. You're all familiar with it. If you're watching this, you may have a newer copy. I don't think they any longer make it like this with borders and gilded. but you have exact same copy with the difference of few images. This is an esoteric deck for me because I will draw cards, and some of them I can use my intuition, I can deduce, but a lot of times I don't know what the heck Marielle is saying. I have to sit down with a book, I have to read the guidebook. When I read the guidebook, I uncover so much myth and depth and so much esoteric symbolism embedded in this deck. This is definitely my number one esoteric deck. It's a deck that is, sure, again, intuitively you can read, but I bet even if you read it intuitively, once you read the guidebook, you get also a different depth, a different layer of a meaning. This is a phenomenal deck, and this is a great example of what I see as an esoteric deck. So this is Marielle White Tarot, classic, phenomenal, very worth it. Another one, I don't know how many of you are familiar with this. I'd love to hear. I wanted to throw in here a little bit of classics and a little bit of, hey, what the hell is that type of decks. This one I got not too long ago. Zach from Tiger's Abyss pointed me out on this deck. This is a book, and the deck is majors only, and it's called Serpent Icons. It's created by an amazing artist, and there's an amazing writer who wrote the book. They collaborated on this. It's majors deck and then some. This is the backs. The majors, I etched it in black. The majors has 2 stars. I'll put it aside in case if you come to the second one so you can see the other stuff. Can I read it intuitively? Yes. Like I said, any deck I'm going to show, I'm going to be able to read intuitively. However, this deck is esoteric because it imbibes the deck with a lot of witchcraft ideas, a lot of what people call the left or dark past witchcraft. It has additional cards. Here's an additional card. The descriptions in the books are very different, in my opinion, from standard tarot definitions. Can one say it's also a system unto itself? Yes. Is it also esoteric? Yes. Well, sometimes I will look at the card, and I also think they also renumbered some of them. Like this is 3, so this would be an Empress. Does it give me nurturing with multi-breast? Yes, but the book description will be different. I will learn something new from it. Sometimes I will look at the stuff and I'll be thinking, what the heck am I looking at? I never seen this particular image depicted like that. What does it mean? Why did they choose this? This is some wacky, weird symbolism. Look at this world card, fascinating. So this is definitely an esoteric deck. I want to find the star here to show you quickly. I mean, look at that. I mean, what is this? Even before you even think about numerologically what it represents, what is this? Oh, a future, and some cards, like I said, of course, you'll be able to read intuitively, but there's additional cards that have their own meaning. So if you're interested in tarot, and if you are also interested, I think I showed you guys the star card and I passed it. And if you're interested in also, here we go. There are 2 different stars and they represent 2 different things. And if you're interested in witchcraft, in a combination, this is like a witchy, moody, interesting deck to have. The book is great and the deck is beautiful. So this is Serpent Icons. I will make sure to try to remember to put all the names of all the decks I described down below in the description. So this is the second esoteric deck that I have. The third esoteric deck that I have is the deck that a lot of you know, you've seen it. It is the Quavaria Magician's deck. And Zach told me today that the creator, Josephine McCarthy, who is an amazing magician, has another deck. I forgot the name, but they have another deck whose art, this is the fronts, the backs, I edged mine. The art to me is very similar to Cecilia Conway, Intuitive Tarot, and Cecilia Conway. What is the new one that she has? I have one of her oracles here for esoteric oracles. Something veil, shimmering veil. The art is very similar to, so if you like her artwork, their other magician stack looks spectacular. The artwork is not exactly my cup of tea. I like this type of artwork, sharp, more descriptive. This is definitely an esoteric deck. I may, obviously, again, intuition obviously is going to work with all of this deck, but a lot of times it's like, what the hell does this mean? What does it stand for? Fate Taker. This one is Inner Librarian. I will definitely have to make sure I sit down and use the accompanying book for this. But this is amazing deck. Its own system, very unique, very unusual. Also perfect for somebody, ideal, I would say, for somebody that works in the magical arts, perfect for somebody that practices any form of witchcraft. This is a beautiful, beautiful, and perfect deck to accompany any magician. So this is Quavaria, the Magician's deck. So this is another one, esoteric one I have. So I now have shown you three esoteric decks. The next one that I have is also one that a lot of you are familiar with. You may have it, you may not have it. This is the Mysteries of Black Madonna Tarot, also aged black. Hetien also has Mysteries of Mary, which I passed on because it just was not, it's beautiful, amazing, just not for me. I'm more on the darker side. But although Black Madonna, you can't say she's on the darker side of religion. To me, this is just more vibed, resonant with my energies. This is definitely esoteric deck. Definitely, you need to know the stories that she tells in her booklet about each one of the beautiful, beautiful frames that she has created for each one of the cards. Knowing the stories helps tremendously. For me, I can, again, intuitively write about it. I can intuitively dive deep into this deck, but a lot of times I don't know what the hell, where did this Madonna come from? Which historic period she belongs to? Nada. So for me, this is definitely an esoteric deck. This is definitely not the deck that I can just throw the cards and do a reading for anybody and everybody out there. So this is going to be the Black Mysteries of Madonna Tarot deck. And this is why I would love for people to do hashtag, because I think what I find esoteric and hard to read and mysterious and has the depths of layers and meaning is going to be different than what it is for you. Next one is Tarot of the Crown. I don't know if this is still in print. I hope it is still in print. I don't even know what edition I have. Edged in black. I have the one with the black backs. I know there's one with, I think, spider wrap in the back. I hope this is still in print because this is an amazing, amazing deck. It's a beautiful, full of feminine energy deck. It is also an esoteric deck for me. I look at the images. I can journal about the images. A lot of the times, I'm still stumped. What exactly am I looking at? What exactly is the image supposed to convey to me? There's deeper symbolism. And then when I read the book, which is short and to the point, it's like a completely different aha, a completely different interpretation of the cards, a completely different look at the tarot. This is a great, great deck. I'm ashamed to say I don't work with it enough. I tend to not work enough with decks that demand your time and attention because I am very cerebral. I was just thinking about this yesterday when I was walking. I'm very lots of heart. I'm very feeling oriented, but it's not easy for me or challenging for me to externalize my feelings. This is why I'm such a good educator on my other YouTube channel. about gender dysphoria for adults and what it's like to deal and live with gender dysphoria, because I can be very cerebral and very analytical and very objective, and that helps a lot. But it becomes difficult when you do tarot readings and you're so cerebral. It's hard to drop into my heart. For me personally, it's very, very challenging. So this demands time, and I am impatient. I'm not good at giving myself the time that I deserve. That's why I like Aleister Crowley deck. It's cerebral too. So Tarot of the Crown is another one. I think this is all this tarot that I showed you. Now the next ones are going to be oracle decks that are also esoteric in my view. So the first one, I'm smiling because this, let me tell you, this is a fucking wacky deck, but probably the best, the most accurate, the most to the point oracle deck I have ever had. And I gotta say, few people, when I had a newsletter, pointed me out to this deck, and then I saw Anna Astral Lady, is it Astral Lady? Talked about it. She loves this deck. You can buy it on Amazon. It's mass produced. It is Sacred Dakini Oracle. Collage deck. I think Anna described it kitschy. It's not just kitschy. It's bizarre. I mean, look at this card. It is so bizarre. Great for free associations. Great for intuitive type of free associations. In the end of the day, you're going to need to look in a book and see what the hell does it mean? Why is it used for the used? You're going to want to read their meanings for sure. It is esoteric for sure. It is bizarre. It is fascinating. Let me show you some of the cards that are just, I look at them and I'm, I just passed one. A horse up in a tree. Yeah. So when I got this deck, I thought, what the heck? Were they maybe influenced? Drugs? What happened here? You know what happened here? Creators that had their mind busted completely open. Look at this. You see this? It's a breast. And then you have flowing breasts or nipples down below. I think this is really what happens when creators bust themselves completely open. And I think that's an amazing thing. And I think when we as audiences have such a privilege and an honor to have something in our hands that we go, what the heck? I think they've done their job. I think that, in my opinion, it's easier to create tarot deck that very easy symbolically to get. It's very challenging to create a deck, oracle or tarot, that is going to challenge your understanding of not only archetypal energies and archetypes, but it's going to challenge how you see and understand symbols. It's going to take your relationship to symbolism to a different level, and this oracle does it. And it reads just beautifully. So highly recommend Sacred Dakini Oracle. The next one is Cecilia Conway, Devas of Creation. I know that she has other oracle decks. I don't know their names. I honestly almost never use this one and probably should gift it to somebody. Usually will gift my decks to Zach. I haven't given him decks in a while. I know he has this deck. Kasia from TerraMap, she has this deck. Anyways, this is Devas of Creations. This is also esoteric deck. I don't know what the heck I'm looking at, what kind of Deva is portrayed, what kind of element is portrayed. It's not easy to decipher, to convey. It demands time. It demands also, once you read the booklet and get an understanding of what Deva it is, it demands to sit with it. Again, something that I don't have, that's something that I struggle with. So This is Devas of Creation. This is a beautiful deck. Definitely esoteric. I mean, what is this? What is this? Anybody knows what is this? I don't know what it is. It reminds me of soul cards. 35. So let me just look it up, okay? 35. This is the shadow. Perfect for shrink, right? Perfect image. So this is the shadow. I bet we're talking about here in a, this is fifth emanation, Devas of the shadow. And this is the shadow. Perfect. Would I have ever guessed that this is the shadow, even though I'm a psychologist and do shadow work all of the time? Heck no. Wouldn't guess it. So this is what I mean. This is another esoteric deck that you just have to sit with it. You have to look in the booklet. So this is Devas of Creation. I know that a lot of people do have this one. Another I have final two. Sorry, my desk is a little bit of a mess because I have my other work stuff and I have the tarot decks that I haven't taken out in a while. The other two is a pair. I call them a pair. They are common to me. I like to have them in a pair. I separated them one time because I gifted the other deck to somebody else. And I then realized that they missed their pair. This is Brian Fraud's IH Mine. Everybody complains, horrific cardstock, but I had it, use it, abuse it, cardstock holds. The Brian Fraud's Fiery I think it's just Fiery Oracle. No idea. Sometimes I can deduce intuitively their personalities. A lot of times I read them reversed too. So a lot of times I don't even know what the Fae brings. I don't know what their energies are. I don't know. I think there's like one or two Fae in here that there's actually one that I remember and I know. And to me, with my sometimes challenge to drop into my own emotions, to me it's easy to read that one. I can't find it, but this is another easy one I remember because when I had a throat chakra blockage, I remember that fella came up for me. So this is another one that is very esoteric. I have no idea what gifts and depths they bring until I sit down and read the book. And the companion to it that I said that I separate one, decided to get back. This is also by Brian Fraud. And this time it's Brian Fraud and his partner. This one is Brian Fraud, and I forgot her name. She wrote the guidebook, which is an amazing guidebook. This is something like love of Fiery or relationship of Fiery Oracle. I forgot. Somebody please put it in description if you're watching and you know what it's called. This is another one, just like that one, very esoteric. I have no idea what the heck I'm looking at. I can kind of get in touch with their energies, but to me, it still will be different than what the booklet describes. So this is a very esoteric oracle deck for me, for sure. And both of those I love them. They're very spring for me. Every spring, autumns, not spring, autumns, they come up for me. I love using both of them in autumn when my birthday is in October. So I just love that autumn season. And I love using them both. So that's my esoteric oracle and tarot decks. And as you can see, some of you are watching this, I bet some of my choices, you're probably sitting there thinking, that's not esoteric for me. And this is where it gets interesting. What esoteric to me, which decks are esoteric to me, is going to be different than which decks are going to be esoteric for you. And this is where I think it's very interesting, where somebody might say that this deck that I showed, that I said this is not esoteric to me, some of you might say, wow, this is wildly esoteric for me. So it's very fascinating how some of us see that what that means differently. So if you want to engage in a hashtag, there's no rules. You can do as many tarot or as many oracle decks as you want. The only rule is that you describe what esoteric means to you in the parameters of that esoteric definition. Just how do you see it? So that way, anybody who watches it myself included, we can understand why you deem it esoteric. So hopefully you engage. Otherwise, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all guys next time. Bye.